I grew up in a musical family. My dad played with Chalino Sanchez. His brothers also performed with him, forming Los Amables del Norte.
Thank you for coming on the podcast, Alex, or Accordion Hero. What can we call you?
Well, my name's Alex, but I am going by Accordion Hero. Nobody's called me that yet, so I'm hesitant to say that that's my name. But yes, I'm going by the Accordion Hero.
And Accordion Hero is your brand? Is that or your
brand.
Business? What is that?
It's the brand. It's the business. The idea came from this old meme that was going around. I think we're all familiar with Guitar Hero. There was a meme going around about something called Accordion Hero, and some dude made like a parody where he's playing like a mini accordion. So then the time came to make an Instagram, and I wanted to post videos of me playing the accordion, giving tutorials and stuff. And then I had to come up with a name at some point, so went with Accordion Hero.
That's great marketing right there. Have you ever talked about that before?
Talked about what?
It's Accordion Hero because it's like Guitar Hero, but for accordions.
I have not.
That's, we'll clip it. Now.
Clip it.
No, so you're teaching online, but also physical, or just online?
I'm teaching online and physical for about a year and a half now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've been teaching. It's been going great, surprisingly and sadly unsurprisingly. A lot of kids needing help to learn the accordion. Well, that's kind of, Accordion Hero happened accidentally, but it's kind of been really fitting what's been going on. When I was first starting out, I was using YouTube as a way to learn the accordion, but that obviously is not the best way, because if you don't have somebody telling you like, hey, that doesn't sound good, or you're off tempo or whatever, well, you're not gonna learn. So I started posting these videos and started getting messages like, hey, do you give lessons? Like, hey, what scale is this? How does this go? And it was like, fuck, like... There's a need. Like, nobody...
How did you learn to play the accordion? Just YouTube? You actually took classes?
No, YouTube.
Or how do you start with music? Let's go from the beginning.
From the beginning. Started up in a musical family. My dad, and he grew up in a family of 14 brothers and sisters, where 10 of them are musicians. He and his 2 brothers and a cousin started Los Amables here in the Valley. They met up with Chalino to record a cassette.
Here in the Valley, or?
Yeah, here in the Valley. Here in the Valley, Los Amables were already performing here because my dad and his brothers were working the grape fields. And Chalino was driving down here to meet up with the radio stations in town. Don't know exactly how it happened that they got in contact, and they recorded the first cassette at Belavacas. So from there, they were performing, touring, recording a lot. I was born 98, but I actually did not particularly care for the music until I was 15 or 16. It was never really my thing. I did play in a middle school rock band for a little bit, but then it was the 20-year anniversary of Chalino's death at the Gibson Amphitheater, and I went with my dad, and they got Los Amables back together, the original crew. I felt that I sort of, people talk about a moment, but that was a moment for me where I felt like I fell in love with the music. I was hanging around, obviously, all these artists like Tito Torbellino, Arley Perez, Voz de Mando. So from there, it kind of started like, I'm really liking, not even the music necessarily, but I loved the environment, the sound guys, like watching the tech guys, like the roadies, like run around with their cables.
The music culture.
The music culture and stuff. And so I was playing the drums, but then I remember some guy had come over to the house with an accordion, and I asked him if he could teach me something.
How old were you at the time?
16, 15. So I started learning the accordion here and there, but that's where I guess I started to run into some problems, because disillusioned, I'd say the word would be, that I was expecting all these guys who were in the music, who I guess I felt loved the music as much as I did, would run to the opportunity to teach a kid like me that was just learning.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. That was to go on YouTube and search how to play this song in this key on this accordion, and like chasing people at my dad's gigs, or at the local restaurants to see like how they did some position on their accordion. It wasn't really until 2020 that obviously we all know what happened.
Yeah.
That I had some time to sit down and
really get in the craft.
Well, I was already playing, so before 2020, I was playing with Alas de la Sierra. So how that started was that I was learning the accordion. I had only been playing for about a year when his accordion player just up and left and didn't want to perform with him anymore. They were about to go on some tour. My dad asked me, like, hey, I was about to go on summer break. My dad asked me, hey, any chance you'd like to do the tour? Like, I had never played live.
How long have you been playing at the time?
Like 6 months.
Oh, damn.
Just like at home. Like,
yeah.
Just, you know, I would put on like an album, right? And just like play along to it as best as I could. And obviously having my dad was a huge help because at least he knew about the music, that he could tell me at least like, it's not that note or this. But
yeah.
So about 6 months in, I meet him up to see about me going, and he gave me a test of like, all right, do you know this song? And I said, well, yeah, but I don't know how to perform. Or like,
yeah.
like, it's one thing to play the song, but I was so nervous because like, obviously I had grown up in a family of all what I thought were great performers that like, how the fuck could I ever like do what they're doing? So the time came, and it was like 2 days before summer break, and the next day we were on the road, and the first one was in Nebraska, and I had never played live, so that whole time.
Did you get to practice with them before going out? Nothing. They just trusted you to just.
Yeah, well, I guess.
That's crazy.
They some 16-year-old.
You might have been good though. They could tell. Like if you didn't get it, they probably would have found somebody else. No.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you were good. Like I know you probably think, looking back, what you know now versus what you knew back then.
Yeah, which is why my time with Alas de la Sierra is a time that I will forever be grateful for, because it really introduced me to not only so many places in the States, but also to get to perform on stages with him and kind of get thrown into the pool of all of it to like really learn it. So those 5-6 years was just.
How was the first performance in Nebraska? How was that?
I remember my hands were like this. Yeah, my knees were like buckling from the nerves, and it was like some cantina in Nebraska.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, it was some small. It was a 2-gig night. So the first gig was in Nebraska, and then the other place was like a bigger club nearby, and we played there, and the place was full, and I remember it was raining. Of course, like. This moment to me was like such a memory. Like I can tell you like where we were, like the weather, like going in, how many people were there. And it was time to play, and like the sound was horrible. Like the guys didn't know what they were doing. And and we started the first song, and I don't know if you know, but Alas de la Sierra has like a 7-minute long presentation at the beginning of all of his shows, where it presents him and his hits, and so those 7 minutes, like I had watched my dad perform with him, that I was pretty familiar with the 7-minute presentation, and I could tell when it was coming to an end. So then it was time to get to playing, and the first song was Linda Güerita, and like I fucked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like bad, like wrong notes, and like the guys couldn't hear me, and we had to like restart the song. And but here's why I am so grateful for Alas, is because he was always so calm and patient when it came to new guys coming in to play, and he knew that obviously this was my first time, that it was so stressful for me, and we were driving together from California to Nebraska, so that whole time, like how you saw me before the podcast, like the whole time just like freaking out and being so nervous for this show. And they found it funny because, well, to them, like it was,
they've done 1,000 shows. They
had done 1,000 million shows, and but it was only supposed to be for a summer. And that first show, I remember, I honestly have no clue how it went, because I was so in like the stress, like freaking out zone.
Yeah.
It was just a blur. Like the show was over and it was like, all right, that's the last song. And it's like, oh, all right. So yeah, that was how my first show went with.
And how long did you said it was just gonna be the summer? You said it lasted a few years. Would that last, or
it was like, well, it was supposed to be a summer because obviously my parents were concerned with my schooling.
Yeah.
But the summer passed and it was time to go back to school. And then that following weekend, there was a gig and it was like, well, do you want to still come or what's up? And I said, yeah. So then it became me going to school. And then for finishing high school, I finished high school, going to school during the week, performing on the weekends. And then I went to college and I did the same thing.
Then you're like, do you tell your friends and stuff?
No.
No? Nobody knew you played or what? Damn,
no,
that's crazy.
I was so embarrassed about it.
Damn, why?
Because if I'm being honest, I didn't like the attention that it would bring. So at my school, it was such a, like at the time, regional Mexican music was blowing up, right? Like everybody had a phone, Spotify was blowing up. So suddenly you had all these kids like with their buds and like listening to Voz de Mando, El Commander, like
yeah,
that time. Yeah, like 2009, 10s. And I remember there was this kid that knew how to play the accordion a little bit, and I remember he brought it one day to like show and tell or something, and like that just became his thing for the rest of school. Like everybody was like, oh, that's the kid that plays the accordion, and I did not want that. I was like, miss me with that. Like, no. So it was only my family, and I told them to not tell anybody, and my brother, who I was going to school with at the time, I told him to not tell anybody.
That's crazy.
And
you're literally performing with like famous artists and doing concerts.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's the response I didn't want.
Yeah. No, but that's you would have been a freaking. Everybody would have been like, what?
Yeah. Well, I just.
What school do you go to?
Well, I was going to Shadow Hills High.
Oh, it's here locally.
Yeah,
oh,
I was going to Shadow Hills High, and then went to UC Riverside for school. Yeah.
What do you study in school? No, we got some. What happened to like?
Oh no, shit.
Oh shit.
Oh,
fucking.
Can't break can't break the flow.
All right. So you went to school. So you finished high school. You were going on the weekends playing, and then when you went to college, you were still playing.
Yeah, I was still playing, doing the whole college thing,
and then on the weekends.
Yeah, and on the weekends performing, which I would not recommend. Definitely was not easy. At least I was in denial of it at first. I was telling myself like, oh, I didn't want to stop. I thought I could do both.
Yeah.
Well enough, but no. I did okay in school and I did okay in music, I guess, because there's that saying like don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. Mm-hmm. So I wish I had just picked one. Yeah. So
what did you go to school for?
Psychology.
Psychology?
Yeah.
You didn't want to get something with music?
No. It's funny. This morning, my fiance and I were talking about that, and she asked me like, "Why didn't you ever like major in music?" And I said, "Well, I don't know, because I guess at the time, well, broader, right? So, in regional Mexican music, I would say that the majority of people are not too up on like musical theory, the basics. So I thought, the same, like, I know my shit. Like, the fuck do I need to
you play fucking concerts,
Yeah, like, what the fuck, I'm doing it. Like,
That's true. It's like some professor that never made it. He's on. You can't do it like this.
Fuck. But obviously that was really dumb because what happened 2020 was basically I had time to sit down and listen to all these different sorts of musics and genres that I had sort of avoided listening to on purpose because I was afraid that if I listened to different music that I would kind of step too far out of the regional Mexican box, you know? So in listening to all these genres, there were all these like different sounds and musics that I started to question my own knowledge on what I can do with the accordion. So I started to feel very limited. Like, man, like, you know, I thought I was hot shit for what I was doing and playing, and I thought I had it down, but it definitely was a time to...
What were you listening to at that time? Or what kind of artist?
Stuff. Well, you know, there was nothing to do but sit around and eat and listen to music. Bands like Babe Rainbow, a lot of reggae, old stuff. This band in Australia that I like a lot called Mild Life. They play like 20-minute songs, and they're all like crazy musicians that went to university for it. So very like
meticulous.
Yeah, meticulous mathematical music where like they're not just getting up on stage and playing and like this is how it turned out. Like, you know, they're going up knowing exactly what they're doing, and it started to bother me that, well, like I can play a lot of songs, but if you started to ask me like, well, what's this or what's that, like I could tell you the chords, I could tell you what key I'm playing in, but past that, you know, music does get very complicated. So that sort of started my path towards wanting to teach myself music. So sitting at home, taking notes, watching everything I could about music theory and the master classes and online courses, and was really taking it in because I felt that I was doing a disservice to myself, to the culture, the genre, the people I was playing for.
Yeah.
To the generations to come, like, the fuck am I doing now for the kids that are growing up? Like, if I don't know what I'm doing, like
what's the people
art,
after
like,
you? Yeah.
Yeah, like any art, any language, if you don't practice it and learn it and pass it on, and it'll die out.
Yeah.
You know.
So just keeping the culture alive.
Keeping the culture alive, for sure.
So then 2020, you started discovering music. And then right after 2020, what led you to start the Accordion Hero? You, from the same passion, you wanted to pass on your knowledge to other people?
Yeah. Well, that's sort of what I was saying about the name Accordion Hero fitting more and more appropriately. I had all this time to sit at home and think about, you know, my time with Elas, like 5-6 years, and every weekend playing with him, and that time goes by really quickly, and you get really sucked into the industry, to the world, to the, you know, and it's a lot of fun, you know, like,
yeah,
no regrets, like, no regrets. I had a blast, like, forever grateful for Elas, my dad, and all of them, and for what they taught me and where they took me. But what I started to notice towards the end of my time, I guess it was sort of a forced exit with 2020. I started to find myself getting mad at the people around me and the industry. Like, I felt there was so much unnecessary competitiveness that I couldn't do myself, you know. I could do the wearing Versace and doing all the tejanas and stuff, and like, you know, corridos and cars and jewelry and stuff. You know, I could do all that, but I couldn't do the purposely like gatekeeping what I knew, or like asking other people in the industry for tips, and people don't like to tell you.
They think you're gonna steal from them.
Yeah. Like, everybody holds what they can do, what they do, very close to their chest, and I don't blame them, because I did the same. I felt myself doing the exact same thing.
We just had a conversation about this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's. I think people get scared because it's like, it's like their passion, but it's not passion.
It's
like their baby. Something
exactly.
you've been crafting over the years, learning your own style. Because I guess every you could have 3 requintistas playing the same song is gonna sound different, all 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly. And I really think you're right about it being a passion, because if it was a passion to me, I'm not saying that it's not a passion for people in the industry, for anybody in any art. It's a passion. But I think when you learn something, when you learn to do something, you get scared that if you were to show someone else, like, they're going to take it and run, you know? And it's like, well, fuck, like, the one thing I knew how to do, like, now I don't have it. Or like,
yeah. No, but the world is abundant. Like, that people, you get further by teaching and sharing what you know.
Exactly.
Because then you're, like you were telling me, you had to, now that you're starting to teach, you're learning more because you're like, oh, this is actually how you do this. But then some stuff that you might not be paying attention to, you're thinking about the basics, and it keeps you grounded.
And it helps me a lot because they ask me things about things that I've been doing for years now that I haven't put a second thought to. And catching myself having that second thought is a big, like, red flag, I guess, for myself, that, well, if I'm just playing all these things and not really questioning, like, what I'm doing, or not sharing it, then what am I really doing in the long term? Because they're
no, you're good.
You're good.
So, like, if you're not sharing your stuff, it's like something happened, like, you can't share your culture, how you were saying, what you've learned, you could teach more people.
Yeah, and I've even found myself still in the same. There's a lot of little things that I sat in front of a laptop teaching myself on the accordion for a long time that I'm so proud of, that I don't want to let go of. But what's that doing? Nothing. Like, I'll play it, and then people will think, wow, that's cool, and then I'll die, and then those people that'll continue the generation won't know how to play that. So to teach it, to pass it on, to share everything that I know to do with music, whether it's on the accordion, whether it's what I know about the industry, all of it, I think the gatekeeping is just really something that would kill us in the end, in terms of a culture, an art form,
Yeah, gatekeeping is like an old school mentality.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, the modern, through all these courses, or even just making tutorials on YouTube, whatever you do, I think that's like the formula that like Gary Vee talks about, just sharing. You share with as much, you never know, the universe is going to give it to you back tenfold.
Yeah. Tenfold.
Sometimes some people are not, you share something or you help somebody out, they're not grateful, but as time progresses, they might not return that favor to you, but the overall universe, whatever energies in the world will help out.
It means so much to those people. I have a student who is a huge Chalino fan. He has posters in his room, and he started messaging me a while back on Instagram about, what, like, oh, do you know this song, like Chalino's song? And at first it was like, oh, like, this kid's asking me about this song, and like, I know how to play all the Chalino songs because, well, like,
your dad.
My dad and Nacho, Chalino's accordion player, has been my biggest inspiration on the accordion. But now I've been teaching this kid for a while now and sharing everything that I know to do with Chalino's music, and you should see how happy it makes him.
Did you share your backstory with Chalino or no?
Yeah, I've told him like,
Was he like, oh, like what?
oh yeah, well I didn't tell him at first. I was trying to play it cool.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's already hard enough as a student to come to a teacher and like, all right, like play for me.
Yeah, of course.
It's very nerve wracking for them. So yeah, like I started sharing every melody, every adorno. When kids would send me questions like, hey, do you know General y el Sargento? Do you know Nieves de Enero? Do you know Gallo de Sinaloa? It's like, yes, like I'll send you the video right now. So now that kid can have like a front seat view to how, as best as I have been able to learn it, play that music and play it for their family. Maybe one day grow up and record their own album and take that piece of Mexican music from the 90s and keep it going. Why not?
And recently, you got to play at the Chalino event. Was that 30-year anniversary?
30-year.
How was the gigs scene, or have you been playing after COVID, like after everything ended before this event?
Yeah, I have been playing here and there. The gig scene has been slow.
Coming back from COVID.
But I have been taking a step back, just as I've been starting this brand, teaching kids how to play the accordion. I've been taking a step back from performing because I've been finding that performing has not been as fulfilling for me as teaching has been.
Yeah. Teaching is different.
Yeah, it's a lot different. Yeah.
But like, so okay, tell us about the 30-year anniversary. Because how did that feel for you personally, like on a personal level? Because you said the 20 years anniversary is when you found like, oh shit, I want to get into this culture. And then the next time they do a big anniversary, you're performing on stage with all these legends. Like, that's crazy.
That's true.
I mean,
I hadn't thought about that.
I just thought because you
no,
just,
that's true. Yeah, well, so I did go to the 20th anniversary. My dad took me as a backstage assistant. So, I was helping Nacho carry. Chalan, like bringing drinks and shit.
Yeah.
For the sound check, meeting with Tito Torbellino and Arley Perez and hanging out with them and seeing them play and carrying Nacho's accordions like up and down a hill and helping him out. And then within those years leading up to the 30th anniversary, learning to play the accordion and then eventually being invited to play at the show. Because when the show came up, my dad told me about it, but there was no real mention that I was going to be performing because, usually when an homenaje, you'd have the original lineup play it. But Nacho couldn't for health reasons, and me and my uncle Erasmo were invited to perform in Nacho's place. So that was amazing, once in a lifetime experience.
How did it feel when they told you, hey, we need you to play?
I didn't believe it. I remember it first came up that it was a question that Nacho maybe couldn't perform, and they weren't sure. So then it came up like, well, maybe you'll be able to. And then when they finally gave me the word, it was like, I didn't believe it until we started recording the invite videos here in the Valley with Gato. Then was when it really hit me like, oh shit, like we're going to be playing this show at the YouTube theater.
And what was the show for the people that don't know? So the show was everybody doing Chalino songs, like doing a couple songs. That way it gives them, and then they had like some trucks and some of his old suits.
Yeah, they brought on the stage, there was Chalino's old truck and 2 mannequins with some of his suits on them. And they brought Canelos Jr., which was pretty cool because original Canelos played at the 20-year anniversary when Pepe was still around. So his son, Pepe, I believe his name is Pepe also, his son got to play at the 30th anniversary, and they did a tribute to his dad because he's since passed. And,
Yeah.
Arley was there. Who else was there?
Tito Torbellino Jr.
Yeah, Tito Torbellino Jr., El Darey,
Fidel Rueda.
Fidel Rueda,
Jesus Ojeda.
Jesus Ojeda, Leonel El Ranchero.
Leonel.
Yeah, Leonel was there.
It doesn't matter. So social media's
And she's over here
fake.
smiling the whole time. She's
I
like,
know.
that's
I'm
my
like
bag.
watching him.
Yeah, toda enojada.
She's all-
Did you say
she's all the hard eyes.
social media is fake?
Social media is fake, yeah. Everything is fake.
So fucking
Social media is fake.
turn down the lights.
Everything is fake.
Are we getting deep?
We're in the Matrix, fool. Let's talk about the Matrix.
Sam and I just finished season 3 of Lost.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've never seen Lost.
Ah, fuck. I was really betting on that one. I was really like, oh.
What other kind of music do you like?
Alright, so we listen to pretty good.
You listen to everything, or just things you like?
Well, I don't know. I hate when people say, I listen to everything. Although now with Spotify, it's really easy to listen to everything.
Yeah.
Or so we think.
The algorithm just feeds you your shit, bro.
Exactly. Cut that out.
Mr. Algorithm Lords.
No, seriously, because you don't want it.
And then the only thing I don't like, it creates playlists for you, and then like sometimes you're like, oh, it's the same songs
You're on the
over
same-
and over and over.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like, I want to listen to new
Exactly,
shit.
exactly.
Or there's songs from like other kinds of genres I don't listen to anymore, and then songs that you kind of forget, and you're like, oh shit, I forgot about this.
Especially if you drive all day and you listen to music.
Yeah, it's
burn it out in
you
3
burn
days.
it out so fast.
Yeah.
Do you listen to corridos belicones? Do you like to play the new stuff?
I'm going to be honest with you. No. But I would not be a good accordion teacher or music enthusiast or pushing this whole idea about not being competitive with other people if I wasn't trying
Yeah.
to learn all the new stuff, even if I don't particularly like it. I'm definitely more tradicional, like Chalino, Ramon Ayala, Cadetes, Canelos.
Yeah.
But I'm working on it. Every like Alfredito Oliva song that comes out, or Grupo Arriesgado, I'm like trying to learn them because
Yeah,
like,
Grupo Arriesgado is badass.
because it's all good. Because
Panterbélico.
yeah, Panterbélico.
Do you like that fool?
Dude, people are in love with him.
Dude, and I just found out that was 19 years old. I couldn't believe it, bro. And then when you look at him, he kind of looks young, but sometimes he looks old. Like, and he's got
What's
that
the-
old school voice too.
The
That unibrow. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
He's
you said it.
19, bro. You said it.
He's
Everybody's
19.
seen it. He's 19, dude.
19.
Already fucking
Damn.
touring, selling out fucking everywhere.
I've been following him on Instagram for a while now, and I really dig his character, his demeanor. I like him.
Yeah, Marca Registrada too.
Yeah,
I like
Marca
them.
Registrada.
They're sick.
Alfredo
Eduardo
Oliva,
Núñez.
Roberto Núñez,
Eduardo Núñez.
Eduardo Núñez, Edición Especial.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I did a poll recently on my Instagram of which accordion player they like of the newer ones. So it was Panter Bélico, Alfredo Olivas, Edición Especial, and Marca Registrada. And 60% of the votes went for Edición Especial.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're real, like, Los Tucanes style type.
Yeah, Tucanes.
Like old school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the new music. Like, it's like fast paced. Fucking gets everything going. Fucking.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like to listen to then? Since you don't like the new stuff, you just still listen to the old traditional stuff, or
no,
or do you even listen to music because you're always playing music? Like, how does?
Well, I've been noticing that's been happening lately. So since teaching lessons, there's been a lot of songs that I've kind of just carted off. Like, I know that one, like Tragos Amargos, right? Tragos Amargos, Ramon Ayala, that's such a staple of a song. Everybody knows it. So there's been a lot of songs like those that I've been having to go back to because my students will ask, like, well,
they want to learn the
starting
basics.
out, like, how do I play Tragos Amargos? And to me, like, as an accordion player, and I'm sure other accordion players would relate, you know, tocar Tragos Amargos is such a, like, oh, this fucking song.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
All right, here we go.
Same with Nieves de Enero.
Yeah.
Nieves de Enero, Tragos Amargos, El Tau Tau, La Chona, you know.
Yeah.
Such great songs, but
play
to an
with
accordion
tone.
player, it's just like, all right. Like, but it's been really fun talking to students and hearing, like, what songs to them are difficult or sound complicated or interesting. So it's been a blast going back to songs that I've just played one way since I learned them 6 years ago to now, like, how does that fucking go? Or, like, how do I play it in this key instead of this key? Because this kid has an accordion that's in a different tuning. And so that's been a blast. But in terms of what I listen to, I try every day all sorts of music. I don't like to not listen to what, you know, there's some music I won't listen to. You know, fucking, like, country. But even country, you know, like, it's tough because...
Do they have accordion in country? No. I don't know.
It's coming.
Oh, it's like they're catching on?
It's coming.
Because accordion's such a badass instrument.
Yeah,
dude.
well, in my opinion, I don't know how it sounds to you guys, but the Sierreño that's been coming out lately has been having a real country twang to it. That I think the more Mexico and the U.S. start to, I think just as we all...
Like blending the border towns.
Yeah, blending the border. I think it's impossible for it not to. Just that now with TikTok and Instagram.
Have you seen those, like, how do you feel? Have you seen those influencers? Like, there's this white dude and then this black dude that, like, they're like super Mexican culture dudes, and they go to, like, jaripeos and the bailes and they're dancing with people. And they're like big influencers because it's like, oh, why is this white guy like doing all this Mexican things? Have you seen that stuff on TikTok?
I have seen that stuff, and it's great. You know, I think we all enjoy seeing
someone else enjoying our culture, right?
Enjoying our culture, and it's definitely a scary thing to do. You know, like, I guess, like, I've always been very white looking, so being in Mexican Caucasian, is that the I've always been very Caucasian looking. But it is crazy. You enter these clubs in, whether it be in Mexico, especially Mexico, here in LA, San Diego, Phoenix, like, you go in, and if you're not, and even, you know, my fiance has experienced it now a few times, going into clubs, and, like, if you're not Mexican, like, you're like an alien in there, which I think is so strange. And I love to hear and see, like, that guy that you mentioned on TikTok doing that sort of thing, because why not? Like, you know, get exposed to all sorts of cultures, and obviously the bigger reasons for that, I think, are apparent. But yeah.
No, I like it too, because it brings new audiences that might not be into this. And I think TikTok and Instagram, YouTube is really showing Mexican culture up. Like, I feel like more people consuming
Yeah.
regional now. Like
Uh-huh.
like you were saying back in school, 2010, 2011. Yeah, we were listening to the narco corridos from that time, but I feel like people still in school, like if you listen to Mexican music, they will make fun of you. Like you had to listen to like hip hop or whatever it was.
Which I remember being a big part of why I was embarrassed in school, because it was such a weird, or like unless you knew the Mexican radio stations here in the valley, you know, like 96.7 La Poderosa, and then came 103.5 La Tricolor. But unless you knew those radio stations, you didn't really hear Mexican music. So around that time, it was embarrassing, like you said. Like it was like you'd get made fun of for listening to well, you know, Mexican music, corridos, cumbias, and all. And now on
it's
Spotify, like you know,
on
the
TikTok,
cumbias, yeah, the
have you
Bebe
seen on
Dame.
TikTok like these high school kids? They're freaking taking their whole grupo to fucking school. They take their guitars, tololoches.
You know, and it's like I see those videos, and it just like, oh, like I feel that like, fuck, like if that were me, like I'd die. Like, but I love seeing them do it because. Why should anybody be embarrassed of what they like to listen to? And, you know, I'm not expecting people who didn't grow up on the music or don't like the music to like it also. You know, we're not trying to shove anything down people's throats, but at least
it's a good time.
Listen to it. It's a good time.
You listen to it, and then there's a thing about watching it live because it's live instruments. Live is so sick, dude.
Yeah.
It's just a whole different game.
But like Banda, I think I don't ever really listen to Banda on recording, like off of an album, but Banda live is a whole other thing. It's really something beautiful to listen to.
Yeah, it's like an orchestra almost, like so many different
which
parts.
That is how
it's a paisa orchestra.
Well, that is how the Banda El Recodo, you know how the names like de Don Cruz Rizárraga, it's because he was the conductor of the Banda.
It was they didn't sing back then.
No, they didn't sing.
Banda was always just
it was
songs.
the military marching band, like a lot of other countries have for their
Then they started adding lyrics like in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, Niño Perdido.
The hornet, the
Cucurrucucú.
that part of the song when the trumpet goes off far on the side. And you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about.
So okay, so Accordion Hero, like, how do you do it with the social media content? Because I saw your feed looks really nice, like everything. And what doesn't it say? Like something about like aesthetic accordion players.
So it's so nice to hear that. I've been really pushing this aesthetic content because I've been seeing it and learning from more modern influencers that have been doing it for a while, you know, making very curated content that looks nice on a page and stuff, which you don't really see amongst the Mexican regional. You don't really, you know, it's still very like
flyers from fucking 2002.
Yeah, it's still like the flyers and like, you know, like posing in front of a car, like, you know, that's obviously the culture, but I was feeling it was becoming very repetitive, and I was really enjoying watching other influencers, American ones, Australian ones, making Instagrams and YouTubes that just look so nice, you know. And for me, the accordion, a big part of my liking towards it was that it wasn't even the sound, it was just how beautiful of an instrument it is. You know, the work that it takes to make one. You know, you put a custom motor in, all those accordions you see Panterbelico have, Alfredito Olivas have, those accordions take a year to get to them.
Oh, they're all handmade?
They're all handmade in a fabrica. In a fabrica. In a factory in Castelfidardo, Italy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Dino Baffetti makes Panterbelico's accordions.
Is that like a company or designer?
Company. So he was the accordion designer at the time, but he's since passed, so the company is called Dino Baffetti. Then you have Honor, Pedraza, all these great accordions that cost a lot of money.
How much does like a good accordion cost?
A good accordion, so the range the range is pretty crazy. So you have your beginner accordions, right? So the Hunter Panther, $600, $700 it'll run you. From there to get to a place where you're using a, professional grade, play on a stage accordion, handmade, you're talking at least $4,000. $4,000 for an accordion, and that's in one key, one tuning. So some accordions come in two tunings, some in one, some with none, or not none, but no like registers.
Is that why like they have like multiple accordions, but they have different tones, right?
Yeah,
to play different songs.
Different tunings for different songs, or keys of those songs. But I remember looking into getting a custom accordion. So sort of, you have your $4,000 Gabanelli, right? And you order it, it comes online from the Gabanelli store in Houston. Then you have your $8,000 Honor Black Hawk or White Hawk, depending on what color you like best. That'll run you $7,000-8,000, including taxes.
Yeah.
Then a custom accordion. Then you get into, putting your name on them, colors, button types, like straps, all that, like $10,000. Yeah, for an accordion. You put your order in, and lately I've heard, because of all the supply chain issues, that it'll take a year to a year and a half for your accordion to get to you.
Damn, that's crazy.
That's I guess going back to what we were saying, it is such a beautiful instrument that
Oh, pinche electricista, aquí no pagan la luz. No. So yeah, so you could just keep it.
So there's all these.
Keep it on him. You can just keep it on him.
Keep it on him. There you go.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
That's it.
¿Por qué pasó? So where the $10,000 accordion?
Yeah. So then you have a custom accordion that's $10,000, and that growing up was such a appeal. Like, I loved looking at my uncle Erasmo's accordions. Like, just, he'd get so pissed because, like, at the time as a kid, I didn't know how much an accordion was and how fragile they can be and the reeds that go into them and stuff. But sometimes I'd sneak into the room and, like, open the case and just, like, look at it. And I felt like I loved looking at the buttons and stuff. Yeah. And it was such a beautiful instrument that I was finding on Instagram was being a bit undermined. A lot of people posting videos of themselves playing the accordion, like, throwing it around or playing like in their bathroom or in the living room, and it's all like dark and shit. So that gave me the idea to make content that looked good. Pretty.
Well, I was gonna ask you, what's the difference between the accordion that has a bunch of buttons and the one that looks like keyboards?
So
I've seen some of those.
The ones with keyboards are piano accordions. So imagine you literally just take
the piano sideways.
The piano, a portion of a piano, and you put it upwards and played it like that. And then the same, because you're only taking a portion from the piano.
You don't have all the notes. You have like certain.
You only
ranges.
have certain ranges. Then you have the button accordion, which is a diatonic accordion, where one note out. You pull the bellows out and it's one note, and then you pull them in and it's a different note. And there are 34 buttons on accordions you see, like the Dino Buffetti ones, Panterbellico, and also 31 button accordions. But piano accordions pulling out and in are the same note. So it is interesting. I've had some students ask me, like, hey, like, how do I play this, like, Varones de California song, or like Varones de Culiacán or Canelo song? And it's like, well, what kind of accordion do you have? It's like, well, I have a button accordion. You can play it, but it's going to sound different. The piano style of playing accordion is very associated with the more like Duranguense, kind of like Sierreño, like kind of a little more loose, like very fast playing in and out sort of stuff. which really lended itself to the piano accordion, not so much the diatonic accordion. Diatonic, you think of Ramon Ayala, Gadetes, Chalino, Tucanes.
Who's the greatest accordion? Who's the greatest Mexican accordion player of all time, or some of the, you could say the top 3, any order.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Well, here's the problem.
He's like, I'm number 1.
I'm gonna be so annoying because they're all amazing. Well,
just 3 badass motherfuckers. You're these three are the LeBron, Kobe, and Jordan. These 3 are the best.
You said LeBron before Kobe?
LeBron before Jordan too, fool. What you mean?
What the fuck?
Can I say 5?
You say 5. So
okay.
5 best ones or
okay,
5 badass dudes.
Okay, 5, Mario Rosas.
¿De quién es?
So, Mario Rosas is this accordion player that got his start in the 90s performing, accompanying for people. I couldn't really speak to his story because I don't know it. But he is just what I would consider a god at the accordion. Just because he can play things. He plays piano, he plays chromatic accordion, he plays diatonic accordion. And he's just a little dweeb for the accordion. Sorry, Mario. He's a little dweeb for the accordion. He really, from a young age, just was obsessed with it. And the sort of guy that sat in his room for a million hours and just was playing and playing and playing and playing. And he can play you any song to the style of the person. And also what makes him God level is he can take any song from any person and double the difficulty of it. I don't know how he does it, but I guess it's a million hours.
Yeah.
I'm working my way there.
Well, Malcolm Gladwell, but times 10.
Yeah. And then 4, Zurdo. So Zurdo is Tucanes accordion player. He's left-handed. So there aren't many left-handed accordion players in the regional Mexican world. You have Michael Salgado. He's not in my 5. Sorry, Michael. But he's a piano accordion player known for playing Tejano, but he was left-handed as well.
Do they have to use a separate kind of accordion?
So that's the interesting thing. It's literally just the accordion we all play flipped upside down. And he just taught himself to play upside down.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. And obviously, all of Tucanes' songs, El Meseta. Of course, I'm blanking on all of the songs now, but we all know Tucanes' songs. 3, I would say Alfredito Olivas. I've lately been listening to him a lot, and he's really been impressing me with what he's been able to do. I honestly feel he's the first in a long time to play a more evolved, truly unique style than what we've heard for a while. Mm-hmm. 2, Ramon Ayala. I know a lot of people would be pissed that I didn't make him as number 1.
El rey del acordeón.
El rey del acordeón. But because this is my 5. So this is my 5. So 2, Ramon Ayala. I don't know.
And then me number 1.
And me number 1, Accordion Hero. No. Yeah, you never know.
Shit.
So 2, Ramon Ayala. Just, he's had such a long career as the guy who really made norteño music what it is now. All the guys that I just mentioned started most likely because of him. He got his start in the 50s with Relámpagos, Cornelio Reina, then he did Ramon Ayala y Los Bravos, and he's just been nonstop being who he is and truly making a unique style. And for me, that's super important in any art, is that something you hear Ramon Ayala and it's there's Ramon Ayala, know. And I think to a lot of us growing up, my cousin Cynthia, we all know, for me growing up, any family gathering, it was Ramon Ayala playing at the carne asada,
Yeah.
And then 1, Nacho. Nacho is my greatest inspiration, the guy that really melded and formed the way that I play the accordion now. And recorded all of Chalino's music and is a great, not too well known for also being a lyricist. Wrote songs like La Vida Prestada. And he's just always been a very creative person, accordion player that I've had the honor of getting to meet and hang with, and he's just an awesome guy. Yeah,
that's dope. Now going back to the social media and the aesthetic and the feed. So do you edit your own videos for like social media
Yes.
and do all the graphics, or does someone really do that for you? Because
No,
it's really good quality.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot coming from you guys. Like, yeah, because I love all your stuff. Yeah, it's all made in-house, I guess. I do get a lot of help from my fiance Sam, and we really, sit down and think about like I'll run in like how does this story look, and like how does do you think this sounds good, or like how does this cover look, like do the colors match? But yeah, all the editing, the cover photos, the words, the captions, so our bedroom's really small, right? And on the window we have film that we bought on Amazon that like creates like an iridescent effect.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll do is I'll wait for a certain time in the day where the sun hits that window, and that's when I record a lot of my videos.
Oh, that's sick.
So I get that natural light, iridescent glow on the gems of the accordion, and it just like glows.
Yeah.
A lot of plants.
Do you record with your phone? Do you have a camera?
Phone.
Phone?
Yeah, it's all been the phone. I hope to one day have a nicer camera to do that sort of thing, especially for audio and stuff. But so far, my phone's been working great. Samsung Galaxy S21.
Algo bien, dijo. And so one question about your cover pages, because I saw your feed. Do you add that title on the actual video, or do you upload it the cover?
So
separately?
what I do is I'll take a screenshot of the video, then I'll take that screenshot and put it into story. Like I'm gonna make a story, and then I write the cover on there, save that, and then go to upload the video, and then upload a cover photo.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah, I don't have any. I've been thinking about doing that. Like, but that's actually super easy, because I was like, fuck, I have to do it on the computer, send them to my phone.
No, and
that's smart on the story.
Oh,
I didn't think of
thanks.
that.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, and I have tried some of my videos I've edited on my iPad, and
what do you use to edit?
just the in-house editing software that's in the Android.
Oh, you edit everything on your phone?
Yeah, everything on my phone. Yeah. Occasionally I'll use LumaFusion on my iPad to edit. Sometimes I'll use Adobe Premiere on my laptop, but very rarely.
And
especially
for you used to do drone shots too?
Yeah, I still. So that's been a thing that's been, I guess, sort of my side hobby or thing that I've been really enjoying doing. Nature photography, adventure photography with a drone.
Have you thought about doing so you're full-time like freelancer, just modern age man?
Modern age man, I guess really it comes from a stubbornness to have a 9-to-5 job. so doing our best to not go back to that. But it's been a blast, and it's given us a lot of time to work on these sorts of things and make cute cover photos for videos.
And just play accordion for a living, basically, teaching people.
Yeah, essentially, I'm hesitant because for me that would be such a dream to do that. So I'm hesitant to say that, yes, like that's what I do,
What about YouTube? Do you don't post on YouTube?
I'm working on it.
Because I feel like all those tutorials, just having them on, I've seen like guitar tutorials get like a lot of views, but people, I feel like, will consume your content. So, and then from there, they could go to Accordion Hero.
I really should get them up on YouTube. What I've been using, so the platform I use to give lessons is called Take Lessons. It was a Kickstart program that Microsoft took under its wing recently, essentially for this, to have
professionals teaching others courses.
Have professionals teach all sorts of things: guitar, piano, accordion, languages. So that platform has been really great to use. So I've also been uploading all of my tutorials on there.
But so if someone subscribes to those lessons or that website, do they get you like for like a Zoom call, or is it just your content that's uploaded?
So it's both. So
both.
Yeah, so I can do my content. I have scales, I have tutorials, I have finger exercises, and there's also an option for if you want a private lesson, you can sign up, check all of my availability. It's super easy, and sign up and meet me in person for an accordion lesson.
That's sick. You getting a lot of leads through like TikTok and Reels?
Yes. So what's interesting about the platform is that they actually will give you a bump on your pay if the person found you through your own marketing streams. So let's say the person found you not through the actual Take Lessons website like Google Take Lessons, but if they actually found you through TikTok or Instagram, they give you a bump on your pay because
you're bringing traffic to the site.
Exactly.
They want to get their name out there. Yeah, I had never heard of it because I've heard of Teachable. I've heard of I forgot the other ones, but yeah, there's a few that you could upload your or you could take lessons. So you don't like miss, or do you plan in the future going back, maybe pursuing touring or joining a grupo or starting your own music? Like, because I know you did that when you were young. I feel like you would have that itch of like, oh man, I want to go get back there, you know?
Well, that's the thing. I think I had a unique experience because I started so young. And if I'm being honest, I wouldn't recommend that sort of environment for somebody of that age. It's a rough environment, especially playing with and for guys of a certain magnitude that at the time, you know, you're 15, 16 and you think you can handle it, or you think like it's not a big deal, and 6 years passed and it was like, well shit, I kind of missed out on a big, very important time of my life as a high schooler, college guy. And you know, instead of doing the college thing of being at home studying or hanging out with friends, I was like working and touring, which was a blast. Like I said earlier, like no regrets. It was so much fun, and took me to places I would have never imagined seeing or experiencing, and led me to meet people that I never thought I could meet. But 2020 hit, and it was that time to catch up on all that, all that time that I felt I had missed. So honestly, I don't know if I see myself performing. Definitely not at that frequency. You know, I do have a lot of fun performing. It's a blast, especially playing with my dad and stuff. Like, you know, it is a good time and family.
Yeah, once in a while occasions.
Yeah, once in a while occasions.
But not like going.
No, I don't think so.
I'm
I'm real happy with where I'm at right now and what I'm doing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes. And I guess definitely not closed off to opportunities to perform with people. You know, the Chalino event happened to come up, and I jumped at it, you know, because that was something that I couldn't miss, you know, and it was so much fun getting to perform that and that sort of show with that sort of production and you know, the YouTube theater, like
big old arena.
It was like I was a kid in a candy store. Like from the moment we got there, Gato was there, you guys were there.
Yeah.
And it was so fun just seeing like how a company like YouTube handles a regional Mexican concert like that, you know. And they definitely didn't, they pulled all the stops because it was such a great show, and would definitely want to do something like that again. So
whenever the opportunity comes.
Yeah, whenever the opportunity comes.
And then right now, for Accordion Hero, I see that you don't really post you just kind of show it on the frame.
Well,
it's just
that's something I'm working on. So
because just from my because I I study a lot on social media, and fucking, all I do is consume social media and YouTube tutorials, and I'm always watching different stuff. But I feel like you need to build your brand like you, because people need to like get to meet you, or they see you, because then your name, you could do anything in the future and continue your, you know, because like if it's just the accordion and people can't put a face to it, you know.
No, and you're right, and I really take that to heart, because it's been really inspiring seeing what you and your team has done here in the Valley for the culture, for the people, for the progression of the Valley. Like, it's been so cool, and you guys have been really putting your faces out there. Something that for me has been difficult, because just being shy and not wanting to do that, you know, or being so concerned with like how my fucking face looks, or you know.
Grow a beard.
It's true.
Should grow one, gato. It's natural contour, I heard the other day. So it's been something I've been trying to work on, because I don't want that shyness, that insecurity to stop me from potentially doing something great. And because I see all these influencers, I see you guys, I see all the people in the industry that are not afraid to put it out there, but maybe they are, you know. Like,
it is scary, bro. Like, sometimes I'm like, fuck, I don't know I should post this. Fuck, I just posted. And there's stuff I don't post, even though I should post. So this is one thing I realized. I've been doing a lot of fucking psychedelics over the last like 6 months. We're gonna get deep in this shit.
No, do it.
But like, that shit gives you so much confidence. Like, we have all these. So when I was saying everything is fake earlier, we don't need anything. Like, all you need is to take care of your family. You need shelter. You need food. That's it. So everything else is extra. So it doesn't matter. So the Instagram or social media, they're just systems. They're just these companies created. Cool. So they're just tools. Like, so there are no rules. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you have to have structure to make your feed look cool, or make some teachable content or inspirational content. But just post as much as you can, because the more you're in the feed. So a lot of times we post and we're like, oh fuck, I'm posting too much, or oh, I don't want people to see my shit. But think about how you consume content. You go on Instagram, and how many times you swipe in a day? Like 500 times, 300 times. Like
in the like
on
the toilet,
I'm on my phone.
Morning,
yeah, I'm on my phone all day.
The bathroom, and then like on my way to the kitchen.
Exactly. So if you're always on people's time, even if they're not liking it, they might just scroll. That's his video. Yeah. Then 3 hours later, that's his video. 3 hours later, the next day, you're always there. And then when you have something to push or promote, or someone thinks, oh, I know someone that could teach you accordion, or just.
Well, it's really interesting.
Getting in like the branding in the back of their head by just them seeing you on the timeline all day.
Subliminal messages.
Subliminal, yeah. Just get in their brain.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you bring that up, because it reminds me of, you know, I went to school for psychology, and so did my fiance Sam, and there's this thing that goes around that we're so much more concerned with ourselves than the people around you are with you, you know. And it's funny you bring up psychedelics, because when we were on a road trip, we were listening to Michael Pollan, and he's this guy who has been at the forefront of psychedelic research in the States. And he had his own personal experience with psychedelics, and said that you realize that we're so minuscule to the grandness of the world, and we're all. It sounds so like.
No, it's true. No, it's because we think the world like is structured a certain way, but like, for example, what is Biden doing right now? I don't know what the fuck he did yesterday. I don't know what the fuck he's doing today. But
does anybody fucking know?
Has that been affecting your life over the last week? Whether he's in Europe doing some, whether he's sitting in the White House, whether he's doing a speech. If you don't even go on the news, we don't know what the fuck they're doing, but we still have to, go to work, do our thing. Mm-hmm. So like sometimes it's like all that shit doesn't even matter. Like it's and you can do anything. So that's another thing I realized. So doing a show, doing a concert, whatever you want to do, everything just needs a system and a structure to be successful.
Yeah.
That's how the big companies do it. Consistency. Why is my video not getting views? Well, do you have a good marketing strategy? Are you throwing ad money at it? How are you looking at the algorithm or the analytics when people clicked off because people got bored? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It almost comes down to science and consistency.
Yeah, spotting trends. You know, obviously, we're all familiar with the TikTok trends and what's popular, and it is easy to jump onto any trend and kind of ride that wave and get the views. It's funny, since starting this page, now on my Explore tab, I get a million videos for like how to promote your reels and how to expand this and that, and but I do think that it is very smart and strategic to follow it like a science, like you said. Obviously, I don't even know if Instagram knows how their algorithm works. I can only imagine for them it's like, we don't know. We let the algorithm run and do its thing and see what it spits back.
Well, it almost...
Or do you know how it works? If you know how it works, please tell me.
Well, I don't know how... I have an idea of how it works, but I know it works a certain way because that dude, MrBeast, he figured it out. Like, so he's averaging 100 million views on YouTube per video. 100 million views. That's more views than the Super Bowl per video, bro. And he hadn't really been on TikTok. And he took the same formula. And within less than 6 months, he's the #1 followed TikToker in the world.
So
he knows how to get people's attention. And if you look at his videos, just the way he starts the videos, like subtitles, the camera's quick switching, like his loud pitch. In the beginning of the video, he explains to you, like, kind of, it is no wasted seconds. Like, everything's just so meticulous. They have these meetings with, like, their team. Like, I don't know if it's daily. They talk about what video to make, and they all, like, pitch the video idea. And then before they even say yes, they're like, oh, what's the thumbnail gonna look like? And if they can't say a good thumbnail, they might scrap that video idea. So before they even write down the script, they already know what the thumbnail looks like. They know that the clickable title could potentially get over 100 million views. Like, they have a crazy system.
Well, I think that's genius, because I guess you're playing to people's first impressions, and I think that really, I feel, provides so much more results when you can really grab somebody's attention. The other day I had the idea one night to take off all the covers of the accordion and play a song and upload it, and it got like 10,000 views, and it was really cool because I guess my thought was, well, we're also used to seeing the accordion in one way with the covers, but like, how about if like I strip the accordion to like its bare parts, and play a song, and like, how would that look? And I thought it looked pretty sick. So
people were just like tripping out.
I don't. Well, it kind of pissed me off. I was like, what the fuck? Like, nobody really said anything. Yeah. But then somebody did leave a comment like, oh, next time why don't you take off all the buttons? Like, oh, fuck you, man.
You should follow up that comment and see how it looks, even if it sounds shitty, just to keep that little thing going. It's all sting stuck.
That's great. I didn't know that about MrBeast with the formula.
Yeah, so that and it's not just the attention. He also needs to keep watching the whole video. So what he does is multiple storylines in the video. So like the video will be like, we gave the last person to leave the house, or the circle wins a house or whatever. But then at the same time, there's like a separate storyline where he's like doing another giveaway or something. So it's always cutting back. So now you're engaged, because now who's gonna win the house, and who's gonna win the other little challenge that's there, and then you're waiting for surprises because he always does little surprises. Or like some of the contestants that leave early, sometimes they win cash prizes for leaving early, or like everything he does is so fucking like scientific. Just like how you were talking about those guys that went to college and they play the music like all systematic. That's how he creates videos.
Wow, that's not. Have you tried the MrBeast burger?
No, I haven't tried that. Do they have like?
No, I haven't. But
I know they have like I don't know how that works. Actually.
Yeah, in San Diego.
They have some over there.
Yeah, there's a MrBeast burger, but the dude's just everywhere.
He also has like fucking chocolate bars in Walmart, and they like selling out 24/7. Yeah, it's that's the part of branding. So the MrBeast brand is just so big, you know, he could do anything. The Rock, his brand, I don't know when the tequila company started, but now it's worth $3 billion.
Wow.
What does The Rock know about tequila?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, that's what it's in. When we were in Cozumel recently,
that battery?
we were diving,
Does that
and
juice?
our GoPro got just combusted, got flooded with water. Right?
Your GoPro?
Yeah, the GoPro. And we were like, oh no! So like we jumped out of the water, and so we like took the battery out, and just fucking water just like came out of the GoPro. So then we were like, well, shit, what do we do? So we went to all the Coppels, Sorianas, Chedrauis to find a GoPro, but on Cozumel, there's none to be found. So then we started asking like dive companies in the area to see if we could get a GoPro rented. Like everybody said no. So eventually we went on the Facebook marketplace for Cozumel, and we found a girl that was selling a GoPro 9, the same one that we had. We bought it. We were like, yes, like we're in business. Like we get to go get our content. And literally the first dive,
The same thing?
same shit.
Damn.
Oh, the drone.
Did you like contact them or no?
Yeah, we did. And they were so gracious in giving us a 10% off coupon.
No way. Fuck. You told them that was 2 GoPros?
Just the one.
Should have told them, hey, I have 2 9s that got wet,
yeah,
bro.
2 9s and the same, like, the water got all, you know how the 9 has the front facing camera?
Mm-hmm.
It flooded with water. And like we had used the 9, like we've had it for what, 3 years now? Yeah, 3 years diving, like we've like hours of dives, like deep, like 60 feet deep, fine. And then the first dive in Cozumel in like 10 feet of water.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The last one, a drone, couldn't get it back because his battery was dying.
Oh yeah, we were droning whales off the coast of Cabo. It's like between Cabo and San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
And we were droning them, and like we weren't expecting to. So on the way there, that was sort of, we knew it was whale season, so which was why we decided to take this trip. We lived in Baja for 2 months, and the goal was just to see the whales, just live there, be all up and down
Beach and all that,
the
yeah.
beach and all that. And we initially, the plan was just to dive from the beach. So we like normally what we do is we set up a little camp and we swim out like 30, 40, 50 feet, whatever, until we find reef. And we noticed that we saw whale blows out in the distance, and we were like, we got to drone them. So
were you guys on a boat or on the
beach?
The beach?
Yeah. So it was already like really risky because we knew, obviously anything out on the ocean, the distance is not what you think it is, or it's usually a lot further than
what it looks.
So we sent the drone out, and like I'm just like going straight out, and I can see the battery just like.
What kind of drone was it?
A Mavic Mini. It was my first drone.
What was the battery life, like 20 minutes?
That one, I want to say it. They say it's like 26, but obviously when you're in going full speed and like against wind, then it cuts down on your time. So we were like, with the drone, we finally found the whales, and we were 2,000 meters out. I don't know how much that is in feet, but yeah, 2,000
like
meters.
6,000.
Yeah, 2,000 meters out, and we got this beautiful shot of the whales looking down, a whale and her baby, and swimming next to each other and dancing. And then I get the battery level warning. And I go like, all right. And like we're both so pumped that like we're getting this shot. And we're like, well, fuck, like bring it back in and we can like switch batteries. But of course, I had left the battery in the parking lot. So then Sam ran like a mile back to the car for this battery, and I'm like just full throttle back towards the beach, hoping that the drone will make it. And it's like slowly inching back, and I kept losing image, like I lost image like 15 times maybe, like just straight up flying blind. And then we're down to like 10% battery. Like, oh no, like I feel with the drone, they say the battery's good until it's, it's a lithium battery. So they say it should be good till 0. It's not. Like, at least
DJI,
it didn't feel that way, but fucking DJI. Like, it's not. So like it hit 10% and then it was just like 10, 9, 8.
It's because it
was
depends on the speed of the wind, how high you are,
how fast you're driving it,
yes.
how fast you're
Yes.
going, like
A lot of variables.
come into play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't work for DJI, but
You sound like you work for them.
The show,
I feel like that's what a customer service agent
he don't
would
want to
say.
lose his sponsorship.
it's not the same. Like recording the whole battery amount, like at a house level,
versus super deep.
versus being out in the middle of,
Yeah, that makes sense.
No,
So
but
were you able to like see it far?
So eventually I got close enough that I could see the drone. It's like, okay, like if it can just, so it's happened before. So one time we were droning off of Big Sur, this bridge, and I was low on battery, and I managed to like, basically like the drone died, but it coasted down to like a cliff point, and we picked up the drone. So I was hoping that would happen again, that like it would kind of coast onto the beach. But then it went into emergency landing right over the water. But the tide was low. So the tide was low and like all the rocks were exposed of this reef. And Sam still wasn't back from bringing the battery. It's like, fuck. So I made a really stupid choice. I made a really dumb choice. It's like, I'm going to save this fucking drone. So I could see the drone. The drone I think was like, I'd guess like 200-300 meters in the air, and I thought, fuck, like I can make it, and like worst case like I don't, and like a lifeguard comes and gets me, or a boat or something. So then like I like tossed all the drone shit, I took off my fins, I took off my mask, like, and just like booked it, which now I'm like, why the fuck didn't I take my fins and mask? That would have helped. Like swimming. But I was like, no, like movie, like, so I was taking off everything and just like half swimming, half crawling over reef to get to the drone. And I could see it as I was half swimming, half crawling. I could see the drone just hovering down to the water. And like just getting fully like scratched up by the reef. And eventually like I did make it to where I felt the drone landed, but the tide was coming up so quickly. So like at first I could sort of half walk over the rocks, but then eventually like I was like half like to my waist in water and like swimming towards the emergency landing point. And I get to the point and like I can hear I could see Sam running back like on the beach, just like booking it, but she notices that I'm not there. But then I heard the horns from the beach like yelling at me like what was I doing, and the tide was coming up. I couldn't see the drone, so it was lost.
Damn.
You
Lost it. So then
You didn't get the recording on the phone or nothing?
I did. So I did get the like cache saved video, but it was like not the best quality. But it's the one that's on my page, Baja con Alex, that's on there. That's the whale shot that I got before it crashed and died.
Well, I mean, that's you got a once in a lifetime shot, you know.
Yeah, well,
you could always buy another.
Yeah,
drone.
exactly, and it was so worth it. And we did. Sam swam out to me and brought me my fins and stuff, and I had gotten so scratched up and tired from swimming out that like I couldn't swim back by myself. So she was pulling me in. She pulled me in, and then we got geared up to go and hopefully find the drone. We were thinking like
scuba diving.
Like maybe we can save the SD card, and if we dry it enough, like we can get all the shots. But of course, no luck. And luckily we were able to buy a drone from on OfferUp, and Sam's sister was coming to visit, and she brought the drone, and we were able to keep droning more whales. And
so you do like freelance drones, or that just more fun, like hobby?
I've gotten a few gigs. Nothing. I haven't been like putting my full effort into
Yeah.
like
That's just like something
yeah.
you do.
But if something comes up, yeah, freelancing occasionally. I did get an offer to help a science program in Baja California. They were surveying boats in the Sea of Cortez during holidays, and I got the offer to go help drone them, but it was the holidays, so I didn't take it.
Yeah. Now that's sick that you have so many different skills and passions and things you're doing. Like it's all kind of creative though.
Thanks, man.
I kind of see it like graphic design or playing actual instruments, and then you're doing like the modern like teaching methods where you could teach people online. You don't have to, be in a physical classroom.
Yeah.
That's dope. Where can people find Accordion Hero on all your social medias or what?
Yeah, so my main page, Instagram, accordionhero.sd. Accordion spelled in the English way, Accordion, not accordion in Spanish. Maybe that was even more confusing. Accordionhero.sd on Instagram is my main page. That's where you'll see me posting tutorials on my stories, posting about classes, posting my cute content on
Your cute content.
well, it is. Well, that's what came. I do think it's cute.
Clip that shit.
Accordionhero.sd is my main Instagram page. That's where you'll see me posting my tutorials, my polls, my questions. I love to ask people, because I have so much fun thinking about that sort of stuff and talking about it with Sam, with my family, with whoever's willing to talk to me about it, about the music. So I'll post the occasional poll, like, who's your favorite accordion player? Like, what's your
favorite song right now?
Yeah, favorite song right now, genre, what can I help you with on the accordion, things like that. It's where I post my cute content, so check out my cute content. Then I have my Take Lessons profile. It's takelessons.com, and my page is tl.page/accordion hero. That's where you can see all my special offers for accordion lessons, all my content, my curated tutorials, scales, all of that stuff. Also check out my dad's page, Jacinto Reyes Oficial. I've been teaching him how to use Instagram.
What? Jacinto Reyes. No?
Jacinto Reyes Oficial. I've been teaching him how to use Instagram, so he'd really appreciate a follow. He's doing his best at cute content too.
Yeah, but for sure we'll put out the links in the description.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming to the podcast. This is this is one of the best ones. You were all nervous beforehand, but it was fun.
Still. No, it was really great being on it, and thank you and thank Gato and
well, I think we'll definitely have you on in the future for sure. You're
gladly.
Always welcome to come by. Anything you want to promote, touring over here, coming back to Valley, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Desert Underground performance, maybe.
Desert Underground performance.
Sure, get you an en vivo, just accordion.
A live accordion lesson.
Ooh.
At Desert Underground. Everybody bring their accordion.
Shit, we'll do a community event. If you want to learn accordion,
yeah. Well, that's the point. My Instagram does say community because I'm really trying to end the gatekeeping and the competitiveness in the industry. And
okay. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and follow the pages. See you guys next time.